Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another fragrance review. Tremendous. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you, this time with another fragrance review, and the fragrance we are reviewing today is Russian Tea by Masque Milano. This fragrance review will follow my tried and trusty technique of telling you the notes, telling you which notes I get, and then just discussing the fragrance. So, let me read this little blurb. Out there, the snow-covered Nevsky Prospect and a sumptuous Art Nouveau building. Inside, a large bookstore. And on the first floor, an elegant cafe. As water is poured in the cup, the infusion unleashes the most charismatic notes. Black tea, heavy and intense. A floral note, sharp and biting. And that unmistakably dry and smoky aftertaste given by the caravanserai campfires, meant to keep the precious tea cargo dry in the never-ending journey through Siberia. The fresh mint leaves give a pleasant, fresh touch to the hot water. A teaspoon of raspberry preserves sweetens without altering it. The bitter aftertaste of leather and birch. We sip it slowly, gazing out of the wide window towards the beautiful cathedral of Our Lady of Kazan and beyond. The Russian tea ritual today carried us to an unexpected journey in remote lands, full of mystery and fascination. This perfume was made by Julian Rasquinet and it was released in 2014. Notes are raspberry, incense, black pepper, magnolia, immortelle, labdanum, mint, black tea, and leather. So, the notes I get from this are mint, tea, and birch. This starts out with, for me, that warm, fuzzy little raspberry note. That's the first thing that catches my nose, but then everything else kind of floods in afterwards. I get this really black tea, very pronounced black tea, and black pepper, incense, birch, all kind of, I don't want to say much of a muchness, that's unfair, but they are all there present and they're all sides of the same thing, you know, they're all facets of that dark, smoky part of this fragrance. The raspberry note kind of hangs around for a while, and it's strange because you get that feeling and it's like, why are you here? That's very, it's not jarring, but it's very counterintuitive. I'm not expecting to see that, but raspberry was used to a very similar effect in Tuscan leather. You know, this is much friendlier than Tuscan leather, but it's also quite challenging in its own way. The mint and the tea are perfect together, especially with that pepper, incense, birch thing that I was talking about before. Just realised I've been holding that in my hand the whole time. It is rich, it is warm, there is amber woods lurking here within, but they're not god-awful. This is when amber woods first started to make a serious impression in fragrances around 2014. Rasquinet was a big exponent of them in the early days. He did some of the fragrances in the Davidoff line, like the blends. There was leather blend, amber blend, those ones. They had amber woods in as well. I had leather blend and I really liked it until I really didn't. The leather note in it was just amber wood basically. And I thought that the top was really nice, and then it ended up giving us a headache. And that was one of the first times I realised that it was in fact the amber woods that were the culprit. This gritty, chalky kind of horribleness. But they're not so bad in here. They're dosed more appropriately, and that's not all you're left with in the base of the fragrance. There's a lot that goes on. The tea sticks around for a long time. The leather kind of takes the edge off the amberwood, although the amberwood is part of the leather. And the mint, again, the mint and the tea in this are fantastic. It's one of the very, very best from the brand, in my opinion. I really liked Monte Cristo as well, but it had the same smoke note as Monodiorio's Queer. Imagine Queer, but with swap out the leather and exchange it with tobacco. That's kind of what Monte Cristo was like. Obviously, there was more, but that's about it, friends. Hope you've enjoyed this review. And I will see you all again soon. Bye.